Hello, everybody. Dale Skaggs here, Director of Horticulture for the Dixon Gallery and Gardens, and I'm here with Dr. Chris Cooper from UT Extension.
Good to see you, Dale.
Good to see you.
See you.
We're here to talk about, we've had a lot of calls. I know the Extension office has had a lot of calls.
Yes.
We had some amazing weather event here. We were, 59 degrees, and then we dropped down to what was the official low, I guess?
So I think it's like 1 or 0.
1 or 0,
Right,
yeah. So definitely, USDA hardiness zone 7, which is what we used to be in, goes all the way down to 0.
Right.
So I think this is what we call a zone defining winter. But the amazing thing about this event is the time that it happened. It occurred so quickly. It went from 59 in a matter of hours down to 0. So, I think plants, they've been around a long time and they have an ability to assimilate sugars and things into the leaves, but that takes time, and it kind of makes like an antifreeze, so they can
Right.
go with the low temperatures. But they didn't get an opportunity to acclimate at all, did they?
No, because it was such a rapid drop in temperatures, right? So I've been telling people the rapid drop in temperatures, think about the magnitude of that drop, in those temperatures. And then the duration of those temperatures, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it stayed below freezing for like 80 hours.
Yeah.
So think about that.
The water in the plant cells actually freezes, and it's like your pipes. Whenever it freezes, it expands, and so all those cell walls just rupture. And so if something is black, just really damaged, or has no green in it, we can pretty much count on that stuff being gone, I guess.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of that kind of damage too.
Yeah, it's but it allows us an opportunity, I guess, to see what is actually really, really hardy here.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. Right?
A lot of people have been saying we're in zone 8 and planting zone 8 plants that are not hardy, but it's 10 degrees. And so a lot of those things like the gardenias and things like that are really, really hit hard. But some things, if you look over here at this Picea orientalis, which is one that I've really thought is a good plant for Memphis, it seems to take our heat. One of the few cone-shaped conifers. And it seems unscathed by all of this cold weather.
Yeah, it looks good, actually. Sure does.
But so I guess maybe that brick wall had some effect on it. Maybe the sun, western sun. I don't know, but there's just a lot of damage all over. You don't have to look around very far.
Yeah.
What are you getting mostly calls about? What are some of the plants that you're seeing?
So the calls I've been getting recently have been about hollies, azaleas, and camellias.
Yeah.
So those have been, pretty much the calls that I've gotten. And I've been telling people, they have to practice patience, though.
Yeah.
Because they want to run out, they want to prune is the first thing they want to do.
Right.
And the second thing they want to do is, guess what? Fertilize.
Yeah.
So it's like, hold on, folks. We're still in winter.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what's
Pushing
coming.
growth is not what you want to do.
You don't
right
want to
now.
do that now. You definitely want to do that now.
And I think the plants, my take is the plants that lose their leaves and defoliate, like the hollies and the camellias, I think if they drop their leaves, they stand a better chance of that secondary bud taking off. If the leaves are brown on them, there's less of a chance. But
right, and that's what I've been hearing. Most of those shrubs are retaining their leaves.
Right. So you getting many calls about azaleas?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of calls about azaleas for sure. Dropping leaves. Are they going to come back? Do I need to prune them now? I mean, those are the 3 calls we're getting about azaleas for sure.
Yeah. What do you think about these? There's hope in there.
There's hope. I mean, you actually have some green tissue in there. Look at that.
Yeah, some green buds.
Yeah, look at the buds.
I'm sure it's going to scratch green. It's got green buds. Yeah. You can see that scratches. Yeah, I think we've got some life in there. So I think these azaleas may be okay.
Okay.
When they're tied in bud, a lot of things can survive.
Yeah.
The ones that are not going to make it are the ones that are borderline hardy anyway, like the southern indica azaleas.
Okay.
Gigi Gerbing and George Tabor are 2 of the ones that come to mind. I believe both of those are southern Indians. They have those bigger leaves on them.
Okay, gotcha.
And a lot of those, I think, got hit pretty hard. But a lot of these, this is a Glendale. This is Glacier.
Wow,
and,
Glacier. Right.
It's pretty tough. So maybe the name Glacier.
Yeah, Glacier, right? Yeah, ice.
But anyway, so we're just going to have to wait and see on this. And the sad news is that it's not going to look the prettiest while you're waiting. So if you can tolerate it, that's what I'm telling people too. If you can tolerate the way it looks, wait. Because it's hard to replace something this big,
That's right. Yeah, I mean, right, it's still winter, right? So everything looks drab in the landscape. Just hold out on it. And then, Dale, you did do the scratch test. That's something else I've been telling people about as well. I mean, if you're curious, you want to go out there and see if it still has life, then get your knife out, get your fingernail, and just scratch it, those stems, those bark.
If you see any green
see any green, there's hope. There's hope. There's
a whole host of azaleas with ice, and polar, things like that in the name.
Yeah.
And those were all bred by Dr. Ackerman at the National Arboretum. We just had the director, Dr. Richard Olson, here as our Phoebe Cook lecture, but long before him, there was a breeder up in D.C. at our National Arboretum breeding cold hardy camellias. This is one of them.
Okay.
This is winter's beauty. It's not too much of a beauty this winter, but it looks like the buds are pretty much toast.
Yeah.
This is one that I don't know if it's going to make it. Like I said, this one I don't know. But
the scratch test.
the scratch test. It's very questionable, but I think it's probably gone. You do see a little bit of life in there. What do you think? If you give it the scratch test and see what you think.
A little bit of life. Yeah. A little bit of life. A little bit. Just a little bit.
Camellias were hit hard. You know, we're kind of at the northernmost range for the camellia. But the thing that really surprised me were a lot of these conifers. This Hinoki cypress, you know, maybe it's going to come out. It looks like it's still green and viable, but the color is just a tannish color that, you know, I guess tan is a color. So maybe some conifers do turn, you know, bronze in the winter. So, but I think that one might make it.
It might make it. Okay.
Some surprising things like Ophiopogon, dwarf mondo grass. I mean, that's really surprising.
That surprises me. It really does.
Yeah, but you know, the growing point on a lot of these grasses is down low, and so I bet if you cut that back, it's going to come on back out. It looks like there's life down in there.
So when would you recommend cutting this back, just in case somebody?
Well, it's slow to come back, unlike monkey grass, which everybody cuts back in February. Yeah. So I think I'd go ahead and cut it back in February, and why not? And it may be slow to respond, but I think you're going to save all of that. I think we're in good shape there.
Okay.
These are dwarf cryptomeria, and the dwarf cryptomeria here didn't fare too well. None of the cryptomeria did, but this one looks like it might have some life in it. You see a little hope in there?
Yeah, a little bit.
I was looking at some of the bigger ones, which we'll look at in just a minute, that we have on the property, and they're Yoshinos, and they are really suffering. So I think some of those are probably going to have to be removed. We love the tea olive, the osmanthus here at the Dixon.
Man.
It's one of the smells of the Dixon in the fall and September. And the straight fragrance, I think they're dead. It's not scratching.
No life in that.
I think we're going to have to start over, but they're kind of borderline hardy anyway. You know, they were kind of one of those zonal denial plants, but they've been with us for a long time, as you can see. But there's cultivars like San Jose, which we have has a little bit more spine to the leaf. It seems to be a little hardier, but we've just lost a lot of osmanthus. They were hit really, really hard.
Wow, how about that? Now, let me ask you this too. So I had a couple of homeowners ask questions about our zone. So are we 7B? Are we 8? What do you think?
I mean, look, based on those numbers, we're a solid 7.
Solid 7.
But, you know, so that kind of defined the winter. But, you know, for so long, our trend was to be warmer.
Yeah,
so 10 degrees was a low temperature for us over the winter. Yeah. So, you know, I learned it as 7.
Okay.
The whole state of Tennessee, when I learned it back many, many years ago, it was all zone 7. Wow. And then they started changing that up. We were the warmer end of the state, and we can do stuff like creek myrtles and things do better here. But yeah, I think we're a solid zone 7. Solid. Well, this Edgeworthia, I think, is faring pretty well. You know, it's one of the few plants that blooms over the winter, and these little flowers look to be in good shape. They were tight in bud. Yeah. It's scratching green. I think that the Edgeworthia actually fared pretty well in all this cold.
Good deal. All right, Dale, so what do you think about the cryptomeria here? Man.
I think we're going to have a lot of dead cryptomeria all over town, but I think just wait and see. You can scratch it. I get a little bit of green on this one. Some of these branches, though, I'm not getting anything. Okay. So I think just wait and see if you can tolerate it. You know, I think by May we'll really know something. Okay. You know, but if you can wait that long, but yeah, no, I'm not as optimistic. It's kind of amazing that a big tree like this is got some age to it, and if that weather killed it, it's going to be pretty surprising. But it doesn't look like it has as much promise as some of the other things we looked at. So down here we have one of the hardy gardenias, and it might make it, but I think it's going to put secondary buds out. I think it's going to be fine. It's scratching green. It's got some green on it. A lot of viburnums. Kyle McLean over at the Botanic Gardens was saying a lot of their viburnums that are evergreen are now deciduous, but he feels like a lot of them are going to make it. This one here doesn't look like it's got much promise at all. No. This is David I crossed with Tinus, and yeah, I don't think it's got much of a prayer. I think we're going to start over with these.
Wow. So how do you feel about starting over? You know, this is giving you a new palette.
Yeah, it's an opportunity. Yeah, I think you can bemoan the loss and say, oh, this is horrible, or you can say, oh, this is an opportunity to try something else, and oh, look, we learned something from it. Well, Dr. Cooper, thanks for coming out today. I always like to have you out here, and I appreciate you coming on such a short notice to check out what's going on out here. Sure. And I guess it confirms what you're hearing all around town. I guess we should probably leave people with some conclusions. And so basically it's the drop in temperature that happens so fast.
Right, it's the rapid drop in temperature, and I like to say it's the magnitude of that drop. Okay, secondly, and then thirdly for me, it's the duration, of those extreme temperatures.
Extreme temperatures.
Right.
Right. So what's the take-home message? What should people do? What are you telling folks?
I'm telling people to practice patience. Yeah, let's just wait to see what spring brings.
Yeah.
Is what I've been telling folks. Don't prune, and people want to fertilize. I'm telling them don't fertilize.
Yeah. One thing for certain, it's going to be a boom for landscapers this year because
Yeah,
everybody's
without a
going to
doubt.
be replanting things.
Without
I think
a doubt.
there's a lot of stuff that's dead outright. I think it's just like you said, just wait and see. If it's not scratching green, I'm not giving a lot of hope for it. Just look at it as opportunity for change. Opportunities
Right.
to plant new things, try new things, and it's just a learning experience.
So it's a lesson. Yeah.
Gardeners are pretty resilient.
Yeah.
We pick up the pieces and move on.
Just keep on going. Yeah, and I'm a gardener as well. Of course, I took the walk throughout my landscape, and it's hard to look at, but hey, it'll be all right. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Patience.
For our viewers, we rely really heavily on the Master Gardener volunteers, and we have a great relationship with the Master Gardener program, and Chris is doing an amazing job.
I appreciate that, Dale. I appreciate that. I learned from you, man. I learned from you. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Got it right at the end.